Okay, so this is the 10 minutes speaking. So let's start it. So what advice we have for college graduates? So I do want you to apply for a job at Solar City or Tesla or SpaceX. And if not then if that doesn't work for whatever reason, then apply to jobs at other companies in the arena or just a company. Usually a change and you figure out how to design new things. Then it's relatively easy to start a company. You just need to get a few like-minded people with you. If you say that space business it's quite hard to start a company in space business because of such a capital-intensive business. So it's better to do something in solar power, or if you're gonna do it in cars. So this is a kind of component supplier for cars for all things, something like that. Must have college degrees in business and physics. But SpaceX is the first venture in aerospace. How did you get the expertise to be chief technology officer of a rocket ship company? Well, I do have a physics background, except for acceleration. I'm going to read the books and talk to a lot of smart people. Let's just follow the trend. You may have heard me say, let's go to think in terms of physics approach or first principles, which is rather than reasoning by analogy. You boil things down to the most fundamental source you can imagine and you reason from there. Which is a good way to figure out if something really makes sense. Or if you just let everybody else do what's it, it's hard to think that way. You can think that way about everything. It's a lot of effort. But if you try things to give something, that's the best way to think. A man's framework has developed by physicists without quantitative fixed lighting like quantum mechanics. So it's really a powerful method. I want to know what is that one thing that surprised you about your life. Personally, I simply surprised about the whole thing. Honestly, I really didn't expect to be for any of these things to happen. Honestly, yeah, and just I know I wanted to be involved in technology, and in fact, the reason why I started the company back in '95 because internet companies was because I couldn't get in. So companies, internet companies, and I couldn't get a job at any of them. Um, I took the job as next step and I sent my resume. And just hanging out in the lobby. It was too shy to talk to anyone. And it was like, okay, well, I guess it's not a comedy. I guess gonna get a job anywhere. Thank you. I would just say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I fear. I feel quite strongly. But if the if what we're doing isn't what you're doing isn't important enough, then it's just overriding fear. So it's enough. I don't fear. I feel fear more stronger than it would like. Mm. I think also people tend to override risk on personal level. That's the thing you want to know now how much that you pay to this and kids to support and then you work related to your job. That about how you're going to feed your family and pay the rent. Okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college or coming out of high school or whatever. What do you what do you risk? Like you're gonna stuff. I mean, basically, certainly not in any kind of modern economy. Just so easy to learn to earn enough money to just live somewhere and eat food. The people what they're afraid of, and they're mostly afraid of failure. I think people should be less quick at the first when there's not so much as risk as at at risk. What's it? Because it's basically downloading data and an algorithm to your brain, and it's basically amazingly bad English. Not in so education is like should be like this huge chart. The more people in gaming, the process of learning, the better. I was also kind of slides external classes because I was trying to figure out what does all mean like purpose of things. And I came to the conclusion but if we can advance the the the, the knowledge of the world, if we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we'll be able to ask the right questions and become more enlightened. That's really the only way forward. What drives you? What is what makes you wake up in the morning? To see a problem and you have to solve it. Um, the thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So you know we are we are doing what we can to have the future be as good as possible. Um, to be prepared what's likely to happen. Um, and to look forward for the next day. Um, so that really do drives me trying to figure out how do we make sure things are correct. And the show and that's the underlying principle behind Tesla and SpaceX. Um, is that I think is pretty important. We accelerate the transition to sustainable generation and the consumption of energy. It doesn't matter if it happens sooner or later or later. And as Basak is about having make life multi-planetary and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo and ultimately make contribution to life becoming multi-planetary. But it's like to a bit more about that. I think everyone is very interested that when you say making the life multi-planetary, yeah, that's exciting. It is exciting. So what is your vision there? I think particularly for Americans. If you think about it, America is not a nation of explorers. You come here from other part of the world that choose to give up the known in favor of the unknown. So I think exploration like the United States is the installation of human spirit of exploration. And so that's why it appeals to Americans so much. You can see this when you see the circular checklist and seven people died, and that's terrible. But a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because for the dream of exploration, that's why dying along with those people. That that's why. That's why. That's why. I mean, talk about what tactile aspects would feel at the beginning. You thought? Yeah, sure. Really? Of course. Really like you put all your money in them. Expect to lose it and well, that's what I thought was, well, I take half money from PayPal and if I lose half of it, that's okay. Um, but then of course the companies encounter difficulties and then I have a choice of either like let the company die or on the put on the money into the companies. And so I really don't want the companies to die, so I put all the money into the companies. Yeah, I mean, I have to borrow money from friends to pay living expenses. Yeah, just look just for evidence of ancestral ability. I must like check record of ancestral achievements. Then slowly that will continue into the future. What really depends on the stakes. Early stakes highs is very important. Then one should then overcome the fear and just do it anyway. Um, I just drive overrides the fear. The fear. It's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish I felt it less. Alright, so this is the 10 minutes. So this is the end of this 10 minutes speaking. So I'll see you guys in the French 20 minutes speaking. Okay, so see you again.